Hi everyone, tonight we slip backstage into a sticky auditorium seat. Lights low, and someone's chair is squeaking far too much. You're watching college kids in a theater rehearsal. Some are loud, some are lost, and one in particular stands out. She's LaTanya Richardson, all poise and punch, throwing her lines like she owns the air. You don't know it yet, but this scene is how one of Hollywood's longest-running love stories quietly starts. No spotlight, no swoon. Just two lives bumping into each other behind the curtain. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you're settling in from somewhere far away, let me know your city and local time in the comments, because cozy stories hit different at 2:37 a.m. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're at Morehouse College in the late 60s. It smells like sweat, paper scripts, and a hint of revolution. Samuel L. Jackson is there, yes, but not yet the thunder-voiced Jedi, or the leather coat-wearing hitman. He's awkward, he's intense, and he just peeked through a doorway and saw LaTanya rehearsing at Spelman College. Cue internal record scratch. He's thunderstruck. There's something ironic about the man who would someday deliver 1,000 on-screen rants being completely tongue-tied when he first met her. Historians still argue whether it was her laugh or her refusal to let him finish a sentence that sealed the deal. She thought he was full of himself. He thought she was out of his league. They were both right. But he asked her out anyway, technically. He invited her to a student protest. Ah, yes, nothing sparks romance like shouting power to the people over bad megaphone static. You're in their first apartment now, or maybe apartment is generous. It's a one-room shoebox in Harlem, with a questionable radiator and wallpaper that appears to be peeling itself off in protest. Samuel's working odd jobs, sometimes as an usher, once briefly as a social worker, while LaTanya juggles stage gigs and side hustles with the precision of a magician who also does her own taxes. Their relationship isn't built on roses and chocolates. It's built on split rent, mismatched cutlery, and a silent agreement that whoever finishes the milk better, replace it without comment. You watch them cook meals with a hot plate and mutual ambition, trading lines from monologues while boiling ramen for the 5th night in a row. She once tried to grow basil on the window ledge. It lasted 3 days. He swore it was the pigeons. She remains unconvinced. They aren't famous yet. In fact, most days, they're just tired. Auditions, rejections, callbacks that never call back. And when Sam finally lands a tiny part in a tiny play, they celebrate by dancing in socks on linoleum, a single flickering bulb above, like a disco ball, with commitment issues. LaTanya gets her big moment first. Legitimate Broadway part. You feel Sam cheer louder than anyone else in the theater, even as he sells his own ticket stub to afford dinner after. There's something soft in that pride, something sticky and permanent. Love, maybe. Or just decades of stubborn loyalty beginning to form its roots. Historians still argue whether Harlem's golden age ended too soon. But on that block, in that one-room furnace with the slanted floorboards and the ghost of dying basil, something golden definitely begins. Even if Sam keeps borrowing sugar from neighbors and forgetting to return the Tupperware. You're in the kitchen, again different apartment, slightly better wallpaper, same couple. Only now, the silence feels heavier. Samuel's career is lurching forward, but offstage, he's unraveling fast. Alcohol, then drugs. Then days, LaTanya spends staring at the clock, wondering which version of him is coming home. Or if he will at all. You sit with her one night when the fridge hum is louder than the conversation. She's not just worried, she's furious and exhausted. There's a line she draws with lipstick on a napkin. Not metaphorical, an actual lipstick line. Stay clean, she says, or stay gone. You're not sure he hears her at first, but eventually he does. It's rehab that rewrites the next act of their love story. Not a glamorous spa kind. It smells like floor cleaner, an old vending machine granola. Samuel goes, he stumbles, but he stays. And when he walks out, blinking in the sunlight like he's just returned from a different planet, LaTanya's there. arms crossed, keys in hand, ready to rewrite everything but with conditions. Historians still argue whether addiction derailed his career or fueled it. What's clear is that LaTanya didn't just stand by him. She handed him the pen and said, "Start again." You ride along as he rebuilds small roles, quiet days, fewer apologies, more breakfasts eaten sitting down. One day she drags him to church again. And not just to warm a pew. He joins the choir. You laugh a little watching Samuel L. Jackson sing hymns, while adjusting his tie like it's choking him. But it helps. The music, the discipline, the woman in the next pew, pretending not to side-eye his pitch. The comeback doesn't start on camera. It starts here, with two people in recovery from more than just addiction, recovering trust, time, and the kind of quiet love that asks everything and gives more. You're jet-lagged in a 5-star hotel suite, watching Samuel L. Jackson ironed his own shirt while muttering about the Oscars being too long. LaTanya's nearby, reading a script with her glasses halfway down her nose and her patience halfway gone. Fame, it turns out, doesn't change their dynamic. It just raises the stakes and the room service bill. They have a rule. No serious conversations after 8 p.m. You learn this when Samuel tries to bring up finances at 8:07 and gets a pillow to the face. "We're not solving the world at bedtime," she says. He nods and orders pancakes instead. That's the trick. Rituals, more than romance. Breakfast is sacred. So is side-eye. You're at their table now, watching them argue over who left the fridge open like it's the final debate before Congress votes on truth itself. Hollywood can chew up couples like a vending machine stuck on refund mode. But they don't play the game. Sam refuses to move to LA permanently. They raise their daughter, Zoe, in New York. They take the train when they could hire a driver. And they still fight about thermostat settings like it's foreplay. LaTanya doesn't let him get away with anything. He tells a dramatic story on a talk show. She corrects the details in the next interview. He calls her his rock. She replies, "He's a pebble I polished." Historians still argue whether their longevity is due to mutual respect or shared stubbornness. You suspect it's both. Because here's the real secret. They never stopped laughing. Not politely. The kind of laugh that bends you over the kitchen counter while you're still holding a spatula. That's not movie magic. That's omelet-based intimacy. And even now, with awards on shelves and fans shouting his name, Samuel still says the only audience that ever scared him was her. You're sitting quietly in a sun-drenched backyard. No cameras, no scripts. Samuel's in a wide-brimmed hat he insists makes him look distinguished, even though LaTanya says he looks like a confused beekeeper. There's lemonade sweating on the table. Their daughter is grown, their calendar less hectic, and the air smells like late summer and something gently aging. You hear them reminisce, not in sweeping speeches, but in unfinished sentences. "Remember when we..." followed by a chuckle and a headshake. Most of their milestones are mismatched in memory. Who met who first? Who forgot the anniversary in '84? Historians still argue whether they eloped or simply wandered into marriage with paperwork. Even they're fuzzy on the details. What's clear, though, is that they've built something real. Not perfect, not painless. Just solid, like a house that creaks, but never collapses. You feel it in the way she hands him a sweater before he even says he's cold. Or how he hums an old protest tune under his breath when she's reading the paper, and she taps her foot without even noticing. They've survived decades in an industry built on pretending. But off camera, they've only ever played themselves. That's the miracle. Not staying married. Staying authentic. You watch them sit in silence for a full 3 minutes, neither checking a phone nor filling the air. Just breathing, just being. That's the kind of love that doesn't need lines anymore. And when the sun dips, and the breeze comes in soft and careful, LaTanya stands up first. Samuel follows. No big declaration. Just the daily choreography of two people who've memorized each other's rhythm. So now, as the light fades behind that quiet house, and their story folds gently into dusk, you let your shoulders drop. Let their patience become your peace. Feel the steadiness in every slow burn morning, every whispered comeback, Every spoon clinked into a coffee mug without a word. That's love, not loud, but lasting. Close your eyes now. You're safe. You're still. And somewhere out there, Samuel is probably telling a story she's already heard 10 times, but she's smiling anyway. If this story warmed your heart or reminded you of your own journey, we'd be honored if you gave it a like and subscribed to stay with us for more gentle tales made just for you. Take care of yourself, rest easy, and may tomorrow bring peace, warmth, and maybe even a good laugh. Good night, dear friends.